The film to be discussed is Rashomon. My extract begins at 49 minutes with 23 seconds and runs for 5 minutes. In the opening shot, we see the three men sitting near the fire, which is the woodcutter, the priest, and the bandit. Um, I chose this extract because it summarizes the film. It practically is about these three men who sit down and discuss the three perspectives from this conflict that happened, and they're trying to figure out whose story is true and whose story is not true. So they sit down and kind of discuss who's telling the truth and who's not. Um, this film is about a horrible crime which is told through various conflicting points of view, raising questions about the nature of truth. The director of this film is Akira Kurosawa, executive producer Masashi Nagata, associate producer Minori Jingo. Rashomon appears in an aspect ratio of 1.37 to 1. This film has also given birth to the term Rashomon effect to describe a situation which involves various interpretations of a single event given by different people who have witnessed it. The director's intent of this film is to show that no objective truth exists in the world that we live in. The topic of objective truth has also been interpreted within the context of art forming within Rashomon. Um, where not only the characters but also the camera must be deemed unreliable because it goes along with whatever the character is telling his or her story or perspective of the situation. We, as the audience, are the witness to the action of the screen, and outside the characters that may be lied to by others, we know the truth always or will learn the truth in the end. The audience is a spectator looking quietly at what is happening and judging what occurs, what we see, what is happening. The actions that we see cannot be lied. We, as the audience, are also attendees of the court proceedings that is happening within the film. Us being unable to see clearly the events, need to hear the testimonies to help decide what really happened within the film. Seeing the opening extract that is at 49 with 23 seconds, we see these three men sitting down, the woodcutter, the priest, and the bandit. And at the beginning, the priest states that dead men don't lie, and the bandit questions him why. He says, he answers, "I refuse to believe that men would be so sinful." And the bandit responds, "Suit yourself, but is there anyone who's really good? Maybe goodness is just make believe." And in a way, he is correct because it's human nature for us to not be so kind or make mistakes, but that's just human nature. And because we are human, we don't believe that we are perfect and we will commit mistakes. As a central part of the film's cinematography is its use of light and shadow, and we see in the extract of 52 minutes with 30 seconds that the bandit and the wife are within the shadow and not within the light that's behind them. So I believe that they have committed sin, so therefore they're in the shadow and not the spot of the light that's behind them. The use of light and shadow is a kind of spiritual um, spiritual topic within this film, um, maybe suggesting that the sunlight in the film symbolizes evil and sin, like I said before. Also, fairly geometric shapes and abstractions, which are also further emphasized. The film is built on contrastive juxtaposition, and and I have seen that there's a comparison between the dark and the light within this film, um, again representing sin and evil. Um, Throughout the film and its blocking, editing, and metaphorical framework, we see that there are 3 points within the film, such as like the beginning, we see that there's 3 men, 3 perspectives, therefore 3 stories. Um, it also, the film seems to come in 3 points. Um, in the extract of 52 and 44 minutes, we see that there is, that we as the audience are seeing what is going on from our perspective. We see the samurai, the wife in the back, and the bandit with the wife in the back. And again, lighting, the use of lighting. The samurai is completely in dark while the bandit and the wife are in white. So we see that he's in completely darkness because he's being isolated, while the wife and the bandit are discussing their situation. In the extract 53 with 36 seconds, we see the medium looking up. And the reason for this is because she is looking at the judge because she is testifying her side of the story. But in terms of the samurai, of course, because she's interpreting his side of the story because he is dead. We see that she is looking up because she's looking up at the judge. Um, that has to do throughout the film. When they testify, they look up because they are looking up at the judge. Um, Again, at the extract of 52 and 11 seconds, we see the medium looking at us because the reason for that is we, the audience, are also attendees of the court proceedings, and us being, we're unable to really see the events clearly, so therefore the characters that are providing their story have to tell us what is truly happening, and so therefore they have to persuade us that what they're telling or what they're saying, that their part of the story is correct. So they're trying to persuade us that their story is true, so therefore they're keeping eye contact with us. So this film is truly just about whose side of the story is true and whose side of the story is not. Um, Again, equal, and the camera is equally being positioned with us, face level. Um, Although during their more emotional talks we move slightly above them, they are still looking up at the judge.